that. So I just wanted to dive in. So we have an awesome guest today with us, Kyle Tomlinson. I'm going to switch over and we're going to say hi to Kyle real quick, and then we're going to come back to him. Hey, Kyle, how are you doing, my friend? So Kyle Tomlinson,
Good.
excellent. Yeah, he's with State Farm Insurance. And listen, so Kyle is very well known amongst the real estate community. I just want
He
to let everyone know
is.
that. I actually call Kyle like the connector, because he loves to be able to connect people. You see him always promoting different events that he is putting together to really connect the real estate community and get them into one good mindset. And then it's not always with Kyle, it's not always about insurance. It's about just connecting and being just getting people together of a like mind, business to business. And that's what I really love about Kyle. So you always see him maybe on a golf course somewhere or putting an event together to get everyone. But the great thing about Kyle as well is he's a great resource of information. So anytime that we have our brokers meetings and things like that, Kyle is always in the limelight there, off to the side, just ready to answer your questions when it comes
Yeah.
to insurance. So, Kyle, we're going to come right back to you in just a few minutes. I appreciate you hanging out, and we're going to dive right into some insurance questions that I have for you. Okay.
Great.
All right.
No, looking
Excellent.
forward to it. Thanks for
Excellent.
having me on.
Yeah, we'll be right back. So, anyway, I just want to talk a little bit further about just so we have some market information that I want to share with you. So I was able to pull up market information for Bel Air, and we're going to dive right into those statistics of just what's going on in Bel Air 21014 in just a minute. So welcome back. So we're going to talk about Bel Air 21014. What a great, great location. There's so much that goes on in Bel Air. I encourage you to check out the calendar of events online. You can go to patch.com to actually find that out. But there's so many happenings, what we consider happenings, and it's just a beautiful central hub
It
that people
is.
like to come to when they're thinking of Harford County. When you think of Harford County, you're outside of the county, you always think of Bel Air, just like you think of
You
Columbia.
do.
For Howard County, you think of Ellicott City, Towson for Baltimore County, things like that. So you always think of Bel Air, and the reason why there's a lot of downtown beautiful restaurants. There's some great outlets there that you could check out. Not outlet stores, but just different shops and markets along the way that are small businesses that we love to partake in, and we love to spend our money there, and we would hope that you would do the same. But Bel Air has so much to offer, and I wanted to go down some of the housing stats for you through Bel Air. Okay, so right now, as of today, there are 45 active listings. 45 active listings in all of Bel
And
Air.
we have one of the most current ones. It just came on the market a few hours ago, and it is 726 Heston Lane,
Heston
right in
Lane.
Bel Air.
Yep.
Walking distance from a Blue Ribbon school, which I had the great privilege of teaching at Red Pump Elementary. It's at the end of a court in the cul-de-sac, which what mom doesn't want to raise her kids at the end of a court in a cul-de-sac? You can always see your kids. You have a nice sidewalk. That's exactly where we live. Not in that necessary development, but at the end of a court. So it's a great house, and you're going to want to reach out to Carlo Buendia if you have any questions about it. And we certainly can give you his number. You call our main number, you'll get a hold of him. And but it's not going to last long. It's going to be flying off the market because
No, we already have a
just
lot of
great.
interest in that particular property there. But so right now, there's 45 listings in 21014. They're active right now with an average days on the market of 35. So approximately 35 days on the market they're sitting right now. The median price right now in Bel Air is $399,900, and that's just for the active listings. But I want you to see the change now as we go into the pending properties. Now, these are properties that are currently under contract. You have 113 properties under contract right now. So that's that's just
It
in one zip
is.
code. So let me tell you
Well,
what,
there's 35,681 people living in there, Rob. It's a lot of
exactly.
people.
Wow. Maria just came up with that stat like right out of the clear blue, just to let you know. So
That's
so
what I
anyway, when
do.
you have 113 pending properties, listen the difference here of the days on the market with the average days on the market of 4. That means you have 113 buyers that picked out properties that what we would consider hot properties. That means they may be in really good locations throughout Bel Air, and they're priced right. They're priced to be able to sell. They're priced in a nice bracket there, and the median price there for the pending properties alone is $339,000. Okay, so you kind of see the trend there. So when you look at the active properties that are 35 days on the market, there's probably some issues there. Whether the home needs a certain amount of repairs, whether they are priced a little bit
Well, it
aggressively
could
over
be a
the top of the
townhouse
market,
too.
things
That's
like
the
that.
smaller home.
Exactly. So then when we look at closed properties, I just went back for 180 days. Went back 180 days in Bel Air. You're looking at 347 closings. 347 closings during this COVID-19 period. So you cannot tell me that we're not in a hot real estate market, because we are. Buyers are out there. They're looking for properties. They're getting aggressive. They're getting aggressive with offers. When you have 347 closings in a matter of 180 days, that's strong, my friend. That's very strong.
It
The
is.
median price there is $343,000. So $343,000, pretty much the average price there. Look at the days on the market here, 6 days on the market. So with an average of 6 days on the market, you have 347 closings. That's why it's so important that if you're in the buying market right now, get yourself connected to a professional agent, to an experienced agent, because they're going to need to get you into that house very quickly.
Yeah.
Take a look at it and make a very strong offer and a strong, quick decision on that property, or it's going to fly right off the shelf. And the days on the market is proving that.
And of course, you want to make a good, educated decision. Like
Exactly.
we don't push anybody to make a quick decision.
Yeah, not a
But
quick
if you've
decision,
already been
but
looking and and it's the one you want,
But if you know
go.
that you're looking for a townhome with a garage or a townhouse with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths,
Right.
then you already know that to put that on your radar, and you connect with us, and we're going to be able to guide you into where those properties are located as soon as they come on the market. In fact, the coming soon properties, there are only 7 coming soon properties right now in all of 21014. Average days on, the median price there is 305,000. So that tells me there's probably some condos in there. There's probably a lot of townhouses as well in the coming soon market. So we have our thumbprint on the coming soon market. I can tell you now, we have to, because once that property comes on the market, you may not be able to see that through Zillow and those other portals that you're looking at. Maybe you're searching, but we get to see it on our end, and we're going to notify you quickly as soon as that property comes on the market. So,
But too, if you have clients looking, as agents, we should be keeping up with the coming soons.
yes.
I think that was when you were talking about moving quickly, Rob. It was reminding me of what happened yesterday when your house was going under contract after 2 months. After 2 days, and this person was like, "Well, I'd like to see it tonight," and we were like, "Well, it's been on the market for 2 days and coming soon for a few days."
Yeah.
You
So let me give you a quick example. So we had a property townhome that we had listed. We had it on as a coming soon for only 2 days. Only 2 days. Well, do you realize that the first day that it went active, during those 2 days, agents had already booked up the very first day, fully booked that entire day with showings. So as soon as it went active and someone sees that come into their portal, or they see it on Zillow or whatever, they were even unable to get into the house the very first day because it had already been booked up by agents who are following the coming soon market. And that's what we do when we represent our buyers. So it's really important that we do that. So that's the first thing. So listen, Bel Air, that's the Bel Air market in a nutshell, and we have our thumbprint on it. So if you're looking for any properties in Bel Air in the 21014 zip code, just scroll down in the description of this video, and you can click on the link there, and that'll take you directly to our page where it has all the properties that are available to you. So make sure that you avail yourself of that. Okay. So with that said, we would love to get Kyle back on board here.
The real
so
highlight
Kyle,
of the show tonight.
There he is right there with State Farm Insurance. And Kyle, I'm so thrilled, by the way, and honored to have you on our program. I know your time is very limited, but I just wanted to tell you that, first of all. And for our viewers out there, can you give us just a little bit of background or a little bit of history? And by the way, before you do that, if you have any questions concerning real estate or the insurance business itself, whether it's car insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, please ask those questions live. We'll answer those live for you, okay? But Kyle, give us a little background about yourself, your family, where you came from to get into the insurance business.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys today.
You're welcome.
So I grew up in Harford County, been here all my life. My wife and I and our 2 children live in Bel Air, and I've had my agency in the same town for 8 years now. And I started out in the insurance business pretty much right out of college. I worked for an agent downtown, ran his sales team. We had a lot of success there, and I was recruited to open up an agency back in my hometown and here in Harford County. So that was a really exciting opportunity for me. Had a lot of connections here to get off to a fast start, and it really started to develop a lot of relationships, as you mentioned earlier, within the community to kind of catapult our business to tremendous success. So I'm really grateful for you guys and other folks in the real estate community that have continued to keep us top of mind and referring their clients to us to educate them about the various insurance products they should consider when buying a home.
Exactly. So I really appreciate that. So you've been in the business for 8 years. That's fantastic. So you have a lot of experience there,
Yes.
and all of our clients and everyone does appreciate that. So let me ask you something. As far as State Farm, you've aligned yourself with a great agency, by the way, that's very much embedded in our communities, and people have come to know about State Farm for so many years. How many products does State Farm offer right now? How many different insurance products do they offer clients?
So right now we really have like 4 major lines of business. So property and casualty is would fall under either auto, whether that be residential or commercial. Same thing with the on the fire side, that could be home or commercial insurance there as well, general liability, workers' comp, etc. We also have a life insurance division, which sells both permanent and term products. And then we have a health division as well, not for like individual health care, but more like long-term disability, long-term care, those types of things that folks may consider when developing a financial plan.
That's
So
excellent.
Kyle, we've had like rain every day. I feel like Florida right now without the palm
Right.
trees and the sunshine. Have you had a lot of calls? I know we have a recent buyer who's been a homeowner for a very long time, but she was downsizing, and the electricity went out, and she was out for the day and came back and had water in her basement, and I she hadn't even fully completely moved in yet. Well, thank God, because everything wasn't in the basement yet, but like, oh my goodness, like, and she had a sump pump and she had a backup. So I guess I don't even know what happened, the full story was, but I know she was devastated. And I mean, I don't think we've had like floods, but I feel like it's just rained and rained and
So a
rained.
lot of claims or anything from like the past storm that we had. Do you?
Right. So yeah, I mean, you guys do bring up some good points there. So we have had an influx of claims this past week, and luckily we've aligned ourselves with a lot of good mitigation teams locally to refer out to people to get in there quickly. I mean, those guys are working around the clock
I
24/7.
bet.
Uh, yeah, to go in there and try to mitigate the property, get the water cleaned up, so mold doesn't grow
Right.
and damage the house even further. I mean,
Sure.
because the longer you let stuff sit there and linger, the more problems you're going to have long term. So,
Right.
um, but the one thing you did mention I think is important for a lot of folks to know is that water and sewer backup is a very common claim that we do get in this area, but it's an endorsement that you have to elect on your homeowner's policy.
Yes.
It's not standard when you're applying for home insurance. And when we get heavy rains at a very quick period, and sometimes those rains come with high winds, which can knock the power out, and then a sump pump fails. I mean,
Right.
it's not common for folks to have water in their basement in during these like hurricane season. So
Right.
something something that we always recommend to folks and educate them about. Ultimately, it's up to them to decide what's in the best decision for their family. But I would say nine times out of ten, folks are looking to have that coverage.
Right.
When you when you start talking about flood insurance, though, I mean you really don't have to have that unless you're in a floodplain and the lender requires it.
Correct.
Flood insurance can be quite expensive depending on how high of a risk your home is in. Like if you're on the water, I mean, typically you're required to have that type of coverage. FEMA is the primary carrier for that. That's a government program, but here recently There's been a lot of private carriers on the market that you can get coverage through now at a lower price point, and we offer them through my wife's brokerage. So
Awesome.
if folks are looking for another option besides FEMA, they should reach out to her team over at Goosehead.
That's good
Excellent.
to have them
Yep.
one more than one option. And you know what? We sold a home to very, very close friends off Henderson in Bel Air, which we're talking about tonight. And it's not waterfront, but they had to have flood insurance. Do you know what area I'm talking about? That whole strip right there? Because
Yeah,
stream going underneath the houses. And then recently something changed. The county did something different and they didn't need flood insurance anymore, which was great. But I primarily think flood insurance, your waterfront, and it doesn't always mean that.
that's true. Yeah, and they're constantly moving those plains around too. So you're right. One year you may not be in it, and the next year you may. So
Right. Saved them a lot of money.
Probably, Kyle, one of the biggest things that I have a discussion with any of our potential buyers when they're discussing, searching for insurance, homeowners insurance, and things like that. One of the big things in my mind is I want to make sure, number one, they look at their deductible, what their deductible is, and make sure that they set that deductible aside in what we consider an emergency fund. So, we're not financial advisors, but one thing that we do is we really help our buyers understand that, that storm can come up at any time. Anything can happen. A neighbor's tree can fall on your vehicle or fall on the corner of your house or whatever. And you might have a deductible that might be 1,000, 2,000, even a $5,000 deductible. You need to really have that money that you can't really touch, that you don't want to touch unless it's an emergency, in what we consider an emergency fund. Because it's really important to have access to that deductible as quickly as possible. But the other part of the conversation that I have with any potential buyer is just making sure, and I'm sure you probably would agree with me, is making sure that you don't underinsure your house. So if your house is out there, let's say you just paid $400,000 for your home, you don't want to go out and get insurance for $300,000 for your property. You want to make
right.
sure that they look to someone like you, Kyle, who's going to be able to guide them and share with them exactly what they need to have in their coverage that's going to be able to cover their home fully. Even though it might be a few dollars extra a year to be able to do that, but it's just so important that you fully cover your home. Would you agree with that, Kyle?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I think you guys bring up some good points there. So, when you're looking at insuring your home, you don't want to consider depreciated value, which is what you're purchasing it for on the open market. I mean, we're looking to do replacement costs. So we're talking about new build, brand new materials, what it's going to cost for a contractor to go in there and build it from the ground up if there was a complete loss. So we have some great tools that we can use that take into account the cost of materials and typical builder costs within your specific zip code that can give us an idea based off the specs of your house, like square footage, number of bathrooms, types of finishes in their house, like your flooring and countertops and all the like crown molding. All that stuff is considered in our calculations when we're going through that. You can also, on the appraisal, sometimes they have what's called an estimated replacement cost new. And we can use that as well as a factor for recommending coverage. But when folks are reaching out, typically the appraisal hasn't been done yet, so we use the tool quite often. So I think that's a really good point. The other thing I would mention too is since you were talking about deductibles is over time the cost to replace your house is going to increase with inflation, right? Like cost of goods go up over time.
Right.
So a lot of carriers have insurance rider clauses in there to keep up with those costs. But if you have a level deductible like 1,000 and your coverage is going up, it's not uncommon for your premium to go up because now the insurance company is taking on more of the risk.
Mhm.
And State Farm has been very forward thinking and uses a percentage deductible. So let's just say you're using 1% on a $200,000 house. We're talking about a $2,000 deductible. But if your coverage goes up to 210, now your deductible is 2,100 instead of that 2,000. So the amount of risk that you have stays the same, which keeps your pricing more level. So that's something to consider too when you're looking to lock in a plan.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And you have the ability to be able to group different insurances together. So if we have a client that comes to you and says, "Hey, look, I'm looking for homeowners insurance, but can I also bring in my two vehicles?" Is that something you could do as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend that. I mean, you look at all the commercials on TV. It's like, hey, bundle and save,
Right.
and the savings are near like 20%. You know, you get a 20% reduction on the house, plus 20% off on the cars. You would be crazy not to bundle them together
Sure.
with with the same carrier.
Uh,
That's like a
So
great
yeah,
coupon.
I highly recommend that for sure.
Exactly. So I think it's a great idea for any of our potential buyers, in the real estate market to obviously reach out to you about that. So
Right.
let me kind of change course here just a little bit. I just want to ask you on a personal level, what are just one or two of probably the greatest work related contributions or successes that you've been able to accomplish over the past 8 years in your career as in insurance?
So, you know what I told you I started out. So I've been in insurance first of all for about 10 years now, 2 years with another agent, and I'm in my agency for 8. So, you know, I was really appreciative for that agent to give me an opportunity to come in there and learn the business, knowing that and having the expectation that I was going to go out and open up my own. So I've been very fortunate to have really strong team members on my team as well. And some of them have had the opportunity to go out and open up their own agencies, and to be able to give back like that opportunity was given to me has been very special. And then being able to watch them watch their business grow and provide a income for their family has been quite rewarding. So I'm very, very proud of that. And then, you know, the other thing is I'm really grateful for the relationships that I've been able to develop in not only the real estate field, but, you know, I work with a lot of folks in financial planning and whatnot to make sure we're working diligently with their business owners to make sure they're properly covered. And to me, that's probably one of the more rewarding things honestly, like what I enjoy most is just interacting with all of you and trying to help your business grow and connecting you with folks that can add to your bottom line and provide value to your clients. So,
Great.
so those things are very special and important to me.
And I will say that I've had to call the office for a few times, and um, everyone's very busy, but I've always had a person answer the phone and be very helpful. I didn't feel like I had to press 5 buttons to get to somebody, and then they had to return my call. It's been really nice to have like a person to talk to when you call, and be easy to handle the questions that we have, because we're always typically on a time constraint. We need the answers kind of quickly and want them to keep moving. So
Hmm.
we've been very helpful. You guys have been very helpful with things when we need them.
Yeah, well, you know, I would say that we probably have a larger office than most. You know, the average insurance agent probably has like 2 or 3 people. So we've been very blessed with a lot of growth opportunities, and we have 8 people on our team. And we're very strategic about our hiring process and who we're going to bring on.
Right.
So it's been great though. I feel like we've got a really strong group, and I'm really proud of what they've been able to accomplish so far.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
And we
So,
appreciate
so Kyle, let
that.
me ask you something. Outside of work, where do you spend most of your time?
With my family, because I am very busy, and you know, sometimes you know, one of the things I feel like is I want to try to spend as much time with them as possible because they're growing up quick. I mean, I can't. My daughter's already 5.
Oh my gosh.
So now it seems like yesterday she was just born. So, you know, spending time with my wife and the kids is what I do mostly in my free time. Um, and yeah, I mean, we like to travel. We like the outdoors. We're in the process of building a house right now, which has been quite exciting. So, looking forward to the next steps in our life and what that's going to look like.
That's
So
great.
it's
And
Yeah,
we
that's
love to
been
hear
great.
that. We love people that are family
so.
oriented.
Kyle, when it comes to the insurance business itself, how do you help? Well, let me answer this question. So, what changes have you made, or that have been made in the insurance business? Let's say this year, maybe because of COVID, or maybe not because of COVID. And do you see any changes coming in the near future that maybe any of our potential clients or potential buyers need to really know about, or kind of lean an ear towards?
Oh yeah, definitely. So you know, business wise, I mean, we didn't really change a whole lot except for the way we were interacting with clients. I think one of the unique things that we do compared to most carriers is that we try to check in with our clients at least once a year to see if there's anything that's changed in their life. Like, was there a life event? Did they, have a kid, get married, whatever, that we may need to revisit their current plan and talk about, some of the options that are out there for them to help them achieve their goals and protect what they're building. So, with that in mind, when all this happened and everything kind of shut down, we were already used to reaching out to all of our folks. So, it's very similar to the mortgage market. State Farm put like a forbearance on payments. So where we weren't canceling anybody all the way through to June because maybe they were out of work and not able to pay their bills. So we guaranteed them coverage even though they weren't able to make a payment, which was very helpful to a lot of people, and they appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's what
And then,
yeah, and that's what State Farm's known for. There's just so, again, embedded in our communities. They're really linked up so closely with our families, and people refer other family members. It's like everyone stays together with that State Farm company and their particular agent, and that's what we probably love most about State Farm. So when it comes to different types of coverage and things of that nature, let me ask you, if a buyer has any specific questions to ask you, up on the screen right now, we have your phone number. It's a direct number, I believe, to you, to your office. How can our clients or anyone who's watching right now get in contact with you? Maybe they're looking for a quote, or they have some specific questions about their policy. Maybe they're with a different carrier and they're just comparing policies. What's the best way for them to contact you, Kyle?
So, they can obviously call our office, but, I'm also available via email as well at kyle@insurewithkyle.com. So all spelled out there, easy to remember. They can also go directly to our website, insurewithkyle.com, and start a quote there, which will come directly to our office. If they work late hours, they can do that when they're available, even over the weekend. They can also reach out to me on my cell phone. So I'm very accessible via text, whatever. We get text through our office line. So whatever form of communication they prefer, we're very accessible.
That's
So
great.
maybe Rob should Kyle put these email addresses or ways or his website in the comments when we're done.
Yeah, maybe when we're done,
so
Kyle,
people can come back
definitely
and
put your
look at
contact
that.
information in there, just to help our buyers and help anyone who's watching this program be able to contact you directly. So if you could do that in the comment section, Kyle, when we're done, that would be fantastic.
Right.
And that's perfect. So let me ask you something as we wrap the interview up. Is there anything additional that you just want to share? Anything that's upcoming? Any events that you're working on right now that you think the public would like to be participate in? Anything that's going on?
Sure. Yeah. So, I think like the biggest news that we have is because we are anticipating people to drive less moving forward and everybody working from home. Starting on Monday, we're doing a 15% rate decrease on auto insurance. State Farm is very forward thinking in that regard. So, if you feel like, hey, I've been working from home the last 3 months, I'm not really driving my car, but my rates haven't changed, or I feel like I'm paying too much, give us a call. I think we'd be able to help you. Also, I would say telematics is becoming a huge trend these days. It's something that a lot of folks should consider. A lot of carriers are also offering that now. So essentially, it's just a beacon that tracks your driving habits. Mileage is a big factor in that. So more you're driving, more exposure you have on the road, more likely you are to get in an accident. So again, if you're just staying at home and working from home, that could really help improve your rates. And one of the huge benefits of working with a carrier like State Farm.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So, Kyle, with hurricane season upon us, and not that we're like a state that gets a lot of hurricanes, like some other ones, like poor Cedar Rapids this week. Ginny and Steve, they lost all their power because of a hurricane. What would you recommend to some of your clients or first-time home buyers? Like, what are some prevention things that you would suggest? Are there any suggestions you have for anybody out there to prepare?
Sure. Well, I mean, fall's been come and gone by now, but hopefully they've cleaned out their gutters. You know what I mean?
Right. I know.
If you haven't, I mean, that's an easy way for water to roll over and then start dripping through the basement and getting
Right.
caught up in your foundation, and it could easily get water into your house. Also, like if you have a French drain too, because you got steps down to the basement
Yep.
and there's debris down there, that's an easy way to get water into your basement. Check your sump pumps too. Just flip them on. Just make sure they work.
Battery
And then
possibly.
right,
Yeah.
and then make sure you have the water backup coverage on your policy, like we were talking
Right.
about earlier. I mean, again, with these heavy rains and the potential for power to go out, those things can still fail. I think it's very important that you make sure you address those coverages with your agent.
And Kyle,
I
I think it's a
like
good
it.
time too for anyone who's watching this program to, this is a good time to kind of start comparing, start looking at what your current coverage is, and maybe even compare because finances are getting tight for some people, of course. And this might be a good time for them to contact you and say, hey, look, this is what my current coverage is. What can you provide for me? And then
Right.
what do I need maybe
Right.
additional because of my circumstances? Maybe I have a well, maybe I have septic or something like that. Is there any additional coverage for me that you would recommend even going into the hurricane season? And I think it's really important that people do contact you, Kyle. If anything, just to compare what they currently have, or if they're coming new into the market and they just need brand new coverage, they really need to contact you because I think you're going to do a really good job. And you've already proven that over the last 8 years to be able to handhold them through the process and say, look, I'm not here to try and sell you on this additional coverage here. However, I know your circumstances and we want to make sure that you are fully covered because you do have, let's say, a pool or you have well, or you have septic, or you're located on a hill or whatever those issues are. I think it's just important that you kind of help paint that picture for them and give them the proper coverage that they need. And I'm sure
Right.
you would agree with that.
And it doesn't. A phone call doesn't hurt.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, look at just everybody refinancing. That's a good time to look at evaluating your home insurance as well, because you're going to be funding your escrow when you close. So it just doesn't have to be new purchases. Plus, when you change home insurance carriers, you don't even have to put any money down. I mean, we'll handle changing everything over with your current lender, and all you need to do is send in your refund check from the other carrier to make sure your escrow account's not insured.
That's
So it's a
really
very
good.
easy process and something that we can walk you through pretty easily.
So that's great to
Awesome.
know that you make the transition very easy because I think it
Right.
might stress a lot of people out. Oh no, I already have coverage. I don't even, and they may haven't even looked at their
But
policy
they
in
don't
years,
know.
but they just write that check out every year, but they really need to reevaluate their coverage, just like you said with the spike of the market that we're in right now. We want to make sure that they're fully covered, that their property is fully covered, and I think it's great to be able to have that conversation with you, Kyle. So. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Well,
So,
thank you
thank
for
you,
being
Kyle,
here,
for being
Kyle.
with us. We greatly appreciate it. And if anyone, of course, wants to reach out to Kyle, we have his phone number on the screen right now for you to give him a call.
And
We're going to go ahead and have
soon.
and we're going to have his contact information in the
Right.
comments as well. And reach out to Kyle directly. And we really appreciate that, Kyle. Thank you very much. Can you hang tight till after the show?
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah,
Thank you.
hang tight for just a few minutes, Kyle. So, well, Mary, that was great information. I mean,
It always is, and you know what? People don't know. We're always learning, always
Yep.
learning.
We're always
That's
learning.
what we want, to bring good information to you.
Exactly. And just to let you know, if you're watching the program right now, next week we have a great show lined up. In fact, we're going to bring on a special guest that's going to help organize your